tough one to take in the end. Just sum up your opinion of the performance today.
Yeah, I think we know we need to get better. It's obviously a tough game. We know how they play, and we want to play long and make it a tough game, and use set pieces and make it difficult for us. And they done that, and we just didn't have enough, to get a goal and to push on. I think we tried at the end, but it wasn't enough. It was a bit too late. So we know we need to improve. We've got a bit of time now to work on that. So yeah, we'll be there working, and we'll be back ready for the next game.
The manager's just been talking about mentality based on when you are in attacking positions, just the right thought process, I suppose, rather than hurrying things or overplaying things, and how that's become a problem.
Yeah, I think so. I think the gaffer's mentioned it after the game to us, and where he's saying is right. I think when we are looking for a goal, sometimes you can't rush these things, and it becomes a bit more we need to score right away, and you sort of make the wrong decision, or with confidence too. I'm sure if we're scoring week in, week out, people are making the right decisions, and it's not as hard for us to create the chances or make the right decision in the final third. But we've got to keep going. We've got to build that confidence, doing that on a training pitch, and we're looking to correct that as quick as we can.
Is confidence an issue? Because this team, this group of players, or the vast majority of you, have seen an awful lot of change and change back in a relatively short space of time in football.
Well, I think football can be confidence, but the only way we're gonna gain that is by practicing and working hard. We've got enough quality in the team. We think we have anyway, and we know that in the dressing room. It's just going out and performing and doing that when it matters, like today, and we just haven't again. So yeah, we'll look to work on it, get back to our best, and keep pushing on.
Because, well, I'm going to state the bleeding obvious here. You're going to need to start winning soon, otherwise it will become a very different season to what's expected.
Of course, yeah, we know that. And I think it's important we put that pressure on ourselves. I think throughout the dressing room we need to understand the situation we're in and really get our heads together and figure out how we're going to get wins. And I think, we spoke about too, if we can't win and we don't lose, and we've conceded another, not so good goal today. I don't think they've had too much other than that. And we've had a penalty late where we could have got the point. So I think as soon as we start to build confidence, and even if it's picking up a point and just not losing, then we can focus on the other things and start to work on scoring goals and winning games comfortably.
And what about you? Obviously back in the swing of things now. How close are you to being available and able to play 90 minutes week in, week out?
Yeah, well, it's good to be back with the squad first and foremost, and just putting a shirt back on, and being able to play for the club it's an amazing feeling for me. I think week in, week out, I've not really played regularly now for 2 or 3 seasons, so it's a big step. I need to get some consistency. Like, the game in the week was good and getting more minutes today, but I think it's going to be slow for me, and I think I have to take that approach so I don't take another step back. So I'm working with the physios and the staff all the time, and I just want to get as many minutes as I can, but do that in a safe way and make sure that I don't take another step back and miss more games, because I want to be out there. And it's hard for the lads, but it's hard for myself too, not being able to influence her, especially like even with today, I'm not able to start the game. Coming in, it's always tough, and I want to be able to influence her as much as I can. I can't do that from the bench or in the stands, so we're working together all the time to try and keep me on the pitch for as long as possible.
Because the manager for several weeks prior to you actually coming back against Southampton was sort of very much looking forward to having a player of your experiences out there in what is a very young midfield if you're not available. Yeah,
I think so. I think we've spoke about experience, and we have a great squad, amazing quality. But I think sometimes when you have someone like myself that's got a bit of experience, I can just help these players through the games, and they'll have a time in their career where they're at the place I'm at, and I'm sure they'll be helping out other lads. But I think you see it with when Ings even comes on. There's just a bit of knowing about the game, and yeah, I think that's where I can bring. And when I played against Southampton, the quality's there, and I think for me it's just like trying to bring the team together and leading us that way.
Do you think that there is a need for just finally sort of a shift in expectation about this season? Because it was all, oh, Sheffield United, can they go up at the second time of asking? But here the team are, although the defeat at the start of the campaign, that actually it's just about getting wins first, otherwise it could be a relegation battle.
Maybe. I mean, we're going to just focus on the next game. I know it's a cliche thing to say, but we could pick up as soon as we pick up form. I mean, we've got enough quality. It's going to be a lot more difficult for us now, but I still want to push for promotion and push for the top half of the table. So I'll be doing that till the last game of the season, and the next thing is focusing on getting a good solid international break in and training well and trying to correct some of these things, and we're getting the next 3 points, and then we do that for 2, 3, 4 weeks, however long it may take. We can readjust then, and we might be looking at a completely different situation in 2-3 months leading up to Christmas. So yeah, I don't know. We're not going to really focus on that, whether it's a relegation battle or a promotion push. I think we just have to focus on the next game.